Howdy, good people, how are you doing? Bash Mutumba back again with another episode of Uganda and Juice. And well, it's just happiness all over Uganda in most sectors. As in athletics, IAF games, Ugandans are winning left, right, and center. And our very own Ugandan journalist, who has been on a master's studying program in the United Kingdom, is also receiving a lot of gifts from her crush Paul Pogba. So it's just amazing, man. Too amazing. But just to get you straight up to the entertainment stories that have been making headlines in Uganda, I'd just like to start with the one of Maddox and Chameleone. Well, these two people that I might call legends, or must call legends personally, they've been having a little fight, I would say that, a petty fight about the name legend. Well, Maddox started up by saying that Chameleone is not a legend and that he can't sing on his show. You know, Maddox has an upcoming show, and he claims Chameleone cannot sing at his show, that the only legends that are in Uganda are the ones who will stand on his stage, but Chameleone won't sing on his stage. That's what Maddox says. And he says even if he's to come, he'll just sit the other side. So Chameleone is not a legend according to Maddox Sematimba. And he still actually added that Chameleone is way younger than him, and that you can't call yourself a legend, it's the people to call you that. That's what Maddox says, that you can't just wake up one day and you say I'm a legend. Well, he says this because, you know, Chameleone has like a million names that he calls himself normally when he's introducing himself or doing an advert or anything, or hyping or doing promo or something of the sort. And he's had various shows which he calls legend. He had one at Cricket Oval where he called himself Legend Hit After Hit Concert, something of the sort. So yeah, and even his name, it's like, I don't know if I can do it right, but he says something like Jose Chameleone Saratata Simba Heavyweight Doctor Atageja Atahoga Legendary Made in Uganda. All those are his names, and he really calls himself a legend everywhere he goes. And according to Maddox, this is actually wrong. But when Chameleone was reached out to by the same media house that had interviewed Maddox, that was NTV and Spark TV, Chameleone said that well, he's a fan of Maddox and he can't deny that, and he says that he has attended some of Maddox's shows, like most of them, and that he might attend this other one that he's hearing about, but it's not a big deal, what Maddox said. And he said he's different from Maddox, and that he has fought for this music industry way before Maddox came. That's what Chameleone said. And I said that we all know the problems that Maddox goes through. So you might have they might have interviewed him at a wrong time, maybe at 3 a.m. in the night, or in the morning, if you're to be politically correct, but okay, late in the night, or maybe they'll get a probably different answer if they interview him again in the morning. And what Chameleone was doing here was making fun of Maddox for his drug problems and alcohol problems. You know, Maddox Sematimba was living in Sweden and he got deported because of his alcohol and drug problems. But well, truth is, personally, I would gladly call both of them legends. I really don't see a reason why Maddox would say such a thing about Chameleone. And in all honesty, if there is any living musician in Uganda that deserves to be called legend, it is Jose Chameleone. If there is any living musician in Uganda that deserves to be called a legend, that's Jose Chameleone. Because truly, you can't even compare these two. You can't compare Jose Chameleone and Maddox, even though most people find Maddox's stuff good. Literally everyone, including me. Maddox had a fire reggae album. I think he released it in the early 2000s or mid 2000s. I'm not so sure. I was still young back then, but at least I know the songs today. And well, any reggae show in this country, if there is any reggae show in this country, Maddox has to perform. Like, it's a must, because literally he is the best reggae artist we have ever had in this country ever. And at shows like, for example, at the Chronics show, he performed and did a great show. Even younger kids, like 10-year-olds, they know Maddox's songs, imagine. And at Taras Riley's show, by the way, that was organized by Swangs Avenue, the Swangs All-Star Tour, the final All-Star show, where Taras Riley was the headliner, every musician was being given just one song to perform, one song like this. That's actually the show where Bebe Cool was pelted with bottles. But every single artist was given just one song to sing. yeah, but Maddox had a whole whooping 30 minutes of performance, because they know he's a hacking god. He's great at this thing, yeah, and he's done it for all this time. And remember, he last released his song, among these ones that we know, Maddox, he last released it the previous decade. In this decade he hasn't released any song. Imagine. So before 2008 there was no Maddox song, but till today those songs are still hitting and they're being played. So you can see how evergreen he is. So that's a fair point to say that Maddox is a legend and he's great at what he does. But Jose Chameleone, Dr. Heavyweight, is just something else, man. It's just way out of this guy's league, like, honestly, because he's still producing music till today, even though he started early in the mid or late 1990s when he went to Kenya and started out his brand from that side and made his name, then came back to Uganda with Mamma Mia. He went in a bus corridor in Mawingo buses. He didn't even have where to sit or bus fare, but he came back in a plane. And that's what he told his brother. That's what Weasel keeps saying about his brother. He says Chameleone is a very, very inspiring guy. When he was leaving to Kenya, he told me, Weasel, I am going on a bus, but I must come back in a plane. And it happened. He came back on a plane with a hit song called Mamma Mia. So it's really a big deal that Chameleone is way better than this guy, like, honestly, if you talking about legendary status or what. And Maddox is just a name mainly known to Ugandans and maybe some Swedish people that he performed to when he lived in Sweden for a while, truly. And Chameleone has really brought a revolution. Like, he brought a revolution because during the time that Chameleone started singing, it was mainly Congolese music that was the thing in Uganda, but he came with a different style, with music that he was producing on his own, like on his own. That's what I would say. Like, he would produce the music. He was the producer, he was the masterer, he was the singer, he would do the backup, and maybe with his other friends like Shaga. So Chameleone has mentored many guys. He has mentored the likes of Reddy and Weasel via Leon Island. He has mentored King Saha, who is also hitting today. He mentored his brother too, AK-47. He mentored Palazzo. Chameleone has mentored very many people. He has done collabos and uplifted many upcoming artists. So really, this guy deserves it all. He deserves it all. And he's extra talented. He can play all band instruments. He can sing. He can dance. And really, it's bad that till today, someone like Maddox can say Chameleone is not a legend. Really, yet he has even done greater things than him. He has won more awards. He has gotten more recognition all over East Africa. Chameleone is that one guy who can fill a stadium in any East African country of his choice. I remember one day when Kenyans were complaining about Kenyan music and stuff, Wasafi manager Babu Tale actually posted, and in that long post of his, he also acknowledged that it's just a wave. Bongo music or Tanzanian music hitting a lot in Kenya is a wave. So it happens in years that, and he gave an example of Chameleone. He said Chameleone was hitting in Tanzania, but no one complained because they knew that was the time. So you would know such a thing, that he was hitting in Tanzania. Until today, he actually still has shows in places like Eldoret in Kenya, like stadiums, and the guy actually fills up. So really, Chameleone needs to be respected. Really, it's bad. And this reminds me of his other song that he did called Basima Ogenze, or the Swahili version that he did later called, I think it's called Binadamu. Yeah, it's a Swahili version of Basima Ogenze. But literally, the song talks about people not being praised while they are still alive, for the good they do for the country and for everyone. And I really believe that since this song was sung by him, people need to respect this guy and really appreciate him for the good things he has done for the music industry and for Uganda as a whole, and lifting up our flag and waving it up high. Well, that's Chameleone for you. Then Steele Onyanja. Well, Dr. Steele Onyanja, till today, she's still struggling with appeal. She's doing tours between prison and court almost every month. It's really sad. And she has actually revealed something really hurtful and painful. She says that prison officers are really, really corrupt. We thought this was just something accused of about the police, but even the prison officers, she says, they are really, really corrupt. And she says that female prisoners mistreat prisoners, and remember those handle the female prisoners, but they mistreat them so much they kick them. She says she's being kicked many times in her back, that she can't even walk very well, that they no longer even drink porridge in the prison, like they don't know where the posho goes, the cassava, the maize flour that's boiled to cook posho and porridge, they don't know where it goes, that those guys actually sell it. He says the OC comes and sells bananas from the prison, like things that are really not acceptable. Like a lot of corruption is down there, according to Steele Onyanja. Well, we really hope she gets released soon, because she says she's going to do another appeal, and I can't understand how she is still in there, yet she once got away with calling the president a pair of buttocks. Like she got away with that, but still she's still in there for just a poem about her female private parts or whatever. Man, it's really sad, and I'd really like to see her out, because I personally love her literary mind. I love her imagery. I'm a writer, so really I'm so moved by the way Dr. Steele Onyanja does her things. I'm so moved by the way she speaks, very articulate and amazing, and I'm really a fan of hers, honestly. I can't deny that, and I'll really be happy if at all she gets out of prison and comes back and lectures again at Makerere University. Anyway, and another thing that has really made big headlines around is the Sudhir issue. The richest man in Uganda, Sudhir on a Boda Boda. Yes, you heard me right. Sudhir, the richest man in Uganda, was spotted on a Boda Boda. Well, you'd be wondering why Sudhir will be on a Boda Boda. He can afford all the cars. He has very expensive cars, very expensive houses. He's the richest man in Uganda, that's what I can say. And his fashion style too on this Boda Boda pic was just amazing. He was in skinny pants that are damaged. Well, this guy is just too cool, man. It's just a cool don. And well, many people were shocked when they saw this Sudhir picture of him seated on a Boda Boda rushing somewhere. But the truth is, I personally wasn't so shocked, because Sudhir is the kind of person that I know who carries his own luggage and pushes his own cart at the airport. Like, random upcoming artists in Uganda can't even push their own carts at the airport. They have to have groupies to do that for them. But someone like Sudhir, he gets out of the plane alone, pushes his own luggage, and gets into his own car and drives off, or something like that. You get? So it's really impressive to know that Sudhir is very down to earth. It is the very richest person in Uganda, with all those investments he has and all that money he owns, and all that money to his name. It's really so impressive. And talking about the youths that like to be like to shine a lot, well, that reminds me of socialite SK Mbuga. Well, SK Mbuga is now out of prison. Yes, SK Mbuga is out of prison. SK Mbuga is just one of those socialites that really have been splashing a lot of money, or were splashing a lot of money in Kampala before he got jailed. And he was jailed in Sweden, actually, after being netted in Dubai by the Interpol over allegations that he defrauded a Swedish tycoon together with his wife. Now, the allegations were that he allegedly used his very beautiful wife to seduce a Swedish tycoon and con him of all his money. He had about 50 million krona. That's about 5.4 million US dollars. Yes, about that amount of money apparently that he conned of that guy. But after almost 2 years in prison, about 1 year and 9 months, he's been released, and he says he's innocent, and of course he has been found innocent too. So and he claims the Swedish government owes him 20 million US dollars over this unlawful arrest, that they have to pay him that money, 20 million US dollars. That's according to him and his lawyer. They have to pay up that money, because it's not fair that they unfairly took him into incarceration for all that time. And really, even converting these things into Uganda shillings sometimes is just stressing. So sometimes I even never convert, because $20 million is just too much money in Uganda shillings. What I can tell you is $1 million is about 4 billion UGX. So that's way too much money. But I think that's all I can give you today. Gravity had a great show, like he always does. He made his crowd really happy for him, and the Maddox show is coming up soon, Maddox Sematimba, and also Sandra Nankoma's show is coming up on October 4th at Protea Hotel at 100,000 Uganda shillings. Sorry. And well, my name is Bash Mutumba. Like I said, check me out on Instagram at Bash Mutumba, on Twitter at MOOTOOMBER. That's Mutumba, and Facebook too, and everywhere. Well, let's link up later. Till then.